His name is Blue Eyed Joe.
Well, hello, boys and girls. This is Poppy, and today's letter is the letter I. And what begins with the letter I, boys and girls? Does ice cream begins with the letter I? Does iron begin with the letter I? And if you said ice cream is begins with the letter I, you're absolutely correct. I is the letter for today. We also have a wonderful story that I'm going to tell you about a young lady by the name of Sophie. Sophie is a little princess, and she's always had people to do things for her. When she tried to become a Girl Scout, she couldn't get all of her trophies because she always had someone to help her. And we're going to get to that story in a minute. But right now, again, the letter for today, boys and girls, is what? I. Very good. And what begins with the letter I? Ice cream. Very, very good. Ice begins with the letter I. Ice cream begins with the letter I. Iron, like you're going to iron your clothes, begins with I. Do you know any other letters, boys and girls, begins with the letter I? In my name, Poppy, my last letter of my name is I. That's right, Poppy. The last letter is I in my name. So, boys and girls, let's begin with the story that I'm going to tell you. And the story is about Sophie. Sophie is a little girl that has always wanted to be a Girl Scout. And what happens, she goes to become a buttercup. So Sophie is a buttercup. As this Hanshaw is her troop leader. Today, Maggie, Peggy join the troop. Sophie gives the girls their vest, your pen, badge. On them, you'll pin your badges on them, she said. So what that is, boys and girls, they put badges on the boys and girls that's going to be Girl Scouts. Or basically girls that's going to be Girl Scouts. You get a badge for things, Jade says, like swinging or packing flowers, picking flowers, said Judy. Sophie needs one more badge. Then she will get a sunflower pin. Tomorrow is her big chance. The buttercups are going on a natural hike. So they're going to go hiking tomorrow to get all kind of sunflower pins and badges and all kind of wonderful things. King Roland is worried. He is afraid Sophie might get hurt. And Mr. King Roland is Sophie's father. He's a guy that always spoils his daughter. Bailey Wicks will go along with them, and Bailey Wicks is their housekeeper. So she's a little princess that has housekeepers and nannies. He will make sure you stay safe. So Mr. Bailiwick is like a housekeeper. He's going to go on the trip as well. Sophie is ready to go. So is Bailiwick. He was in the groundhog troop. And what the groundhog troop was, it was like a Boy Scout for big boys. Groundhogs come prepared, he says. They come prepared, boys and girls. They begin their hike. Bakley will give Sophie shade. He opens up an umbrella, and then he walks behind her to keep the shade off of her. He clears the way. He sweeps the path. He keeps her cool. Sophie wishes he would not help, but Mr. Bailiwick is going to help. The girls stop to rest. Bailiwick pulls out a chair. I can sit on the ground, said Sophie, but Mr. Bakerwick pulled out a chair so she can sit down. The girls stop for water. Sophie gets a fancy glass, but all the other boys and girls had to drink from a bottled water. Again, Sophie is a little princess, so princesses gets all the special treats. It is time to earn a badge. The girls will build a birdhouse. Sophie gathers twigs to use. You might get scratched, said Bailiwick. He takes the twigs from Sophie. I can do it myself, Sophie says. But Mr. Bailiwick was paid to take care of Sophie so she wouldn't have to do these things. Mrs. Hanshaw looks at Bailiwick's birdhouse. Sophie, you were supposed to build it yourself, she says. Rudy and Jada gets badges. Sophie didn't get a badge because someone else helped her. For them to get a badge, Sophie had to do her own birdhouse. Soon Sophie had another chance. The girls can earn a badge for getting wood. Bailiwick is worried. Sophie will get hurt. He beats her to every log, branch, and twig in the woods, so Sophie didn't have to get any. Bailiwick holds up the wood. It only counts if Sony does it, Mrs. Hanshaw says. Sophie has to get her own wood. Everyone gets a badge, but Sophie. Jade even earns her sunflower pin, but Sophie didn't get a badge because she did not get the wood for herself. So she's sad as always. The buttercups stop for lunch. Bailiwick cooks for Sophie. Sophie wants to do things for herself. When I can earn my then I can earn my last badge and get my sunflower pin myself. Mr. Bailiwick promised to leave Sophie alone so she can get her own things. So she can get her own badges. So she can get things for herself. So she can learn how to be a Girl Scout on her own without any help. But again, Mr. Bailiwick always helps. And he promised this he was going to leave her alone and let her do her own thing to earn her own badges. So boys and girls, you have to be able to do your own thing to own your own badges. You have to be able to clean up your room. You have to be able to sweep the floor, empty the trash when your mother and father asked you to. Here we go. There is one daffodils to earn a badge. They must watch out for a bad red plant. It gives an itch, and then it also gives a rash. So again, they have to be careful when they go out and pick these wonderful flowers. What if Sophie touches a bad plant? Bailey picks some red flowers for her. But again, they do not supposed to pick red. They're supposed to pick green. But Mr. Bailiwick went out and picked a red plant without listening to the instructions. Bailiwick's hand started itching. He needs the royal doctor. But Bailiwick cannot get down the trail. Well, we'll build a sled, Sophie said. She shows the buttercups how to build a sled. The buttercups are on their way on building a sled so Mr. Bailiwick can get to the doctor. Bailiwick gets fixed up after they reach the doctor's office from the sled that Sophie made. Sophie's daddy thanks him for helping Sophie. She didn't need me at all, Bailiwick said. He tells how Sophie got him home. She's a leader, just like you. So the moral of this story is that when you want to be a Boy Scout or Scout, for you to get a badge, to get a pin, or to get a ribbon, you have to do everything yourself without any help. So, again, boys and girls, the moral of this story is you have to do things for yourself so you can achieve and get badges and rewards. You have to study hard. You have to remember what today's letter is, and today's letter, boys and girls, is what? Very good. I as in ice cream. Very, very good. I want to thank you for letting me tell you about the story of Sophie being a little princess and how people were helping her. And only reason how she got badges because she had to do the work herself. But also, this is the month of April. In April, boys and girls, I am going to sing all of my boys and girls who have birthdays in April a wonderful, wonderful birthday song. Happy birthday to you, boys and girls. Happy birthday to my boys and girls out there. Have a wonderful, 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 wonderful birthday. Happy birthday to you. Well, again, boys and girls, the letter for today is what? Very good, the I. Again, the letter for today is I. Very good. And what begins with I? Ice cream, iron. That's right. And my last letter in my name begins with an I as well. And boys and girls, do you see the number up above me right there? That number is what, boys and girls? Very good. Did someone say 3? That is right. 3 is that number. And the letter for today is I. Very, very good. Well, I want to thank
Alpha the A would always say, I can't.
you, and I'll see you again tomorrow.
I can't.
Okay?
I can't
Bye-bye.
climb a hill.
Vallejo Ballet, Solano County's premier #1 ballet school. Give them a call, 707-645-1406. The Joy of Dance, Vallejo Ballet School. Classes are filling up soon, so call Vallejo Ballet School for your class schedule. Vallejo Ballet. This has been a Drake Television Studios presentation.